This video is inspired by Robert Semenoff. He asked about tying two rods together.
I'm going to work right off this 50-foot section of cord, and I want to take a bite and leave myself enough room so that I can pull on the end when I'm done over to the right, and at the same time have enough distance so that I can still hold onto my blade. Now the amount of blade I'm going to include onto my handle is just 1 grip's width. This is how we want to look when we get started. I have my thumb pinching down about 1 inch away from the handle, and then this end that I'll pull when I'm all done, that's right next to the blade because I want to leave a gap so that I have a place to relieve that friction as I close up my loop. To start, I'll just start wrapping my cord around. Now at first I won't have a lot of friction going on and the blade's going to want to rotate with the handle. That's okay. We'll add more tension as we go. I'll pull in about 5 wraps and I'll get to a point where I can start pulling in more tension with every turn. There we go. All right, now I'll do a few more. Get that out of the way. And as I go around, I just pull in the cord in my fingers and I use my thumb to push away and get in that extra tension. Now I'm at a point where I can start using my marlin spike. I'll take my marlin spike and I'll wrap it up a couple times, and that'll give me enough hold so that I can pull in my tension with every turn that I add. Now you'll see that I still have some rotation going on with the blade sliding on the handle. I'll just pull that back into place. But with every extra high tension wrap that I do, it's going to take more and more play out of the whole system. From here, I'll take my cord, I'll start wrapping it back towards the end, and I'll try to place it neatly in between every turn that I've already done. Every time I pull my cord in between my original turns, you'll see that I space out my original cord. And that's why we left this extra room so that we can accommodate that additional cord. All right, now we're going to start working our way back towards our loop. For these last series of loops, I'm just going to keep constant tension as I rotate the cord around. Okay, we've made it back over. Now what I'm going to do is cut this line. I want to leave myself plenty of room. Now all I have to do is take this piece of cord, I'm going to pass it through this loop, and then I'm going to take this end and I'm going to pull it tight, and I'm going to pull this cord into my wraps. This is going to take a little force, so I'm going to use my marlin spike again. There we go. Now we'll trim off our excess. Now if you're interested in getting a marlin spike for yourself, you can make one. I have a video on how to do that. Or you can stay tuned. I'm working with a manufacturer to try to get them made out of stainless steel. Now this one's out of aluminum, so it does leave metal on your hands as you're working rough with the cord. But stay tuned, we'll see how they turn out. Now this may look a little primitive, but believe me, it is on there. It is not going anywhere. Now I just need to use the same tie to connect these two handles together. Luckily, this marlin spike also works as a magic wand. And that's it. Actually, let me show you how it works. So for this one, we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to use a pipe for an installation tool. I'll get my bite and I'll line it up just like before. And I'll just start wrapping around my working end. Keep everything lined up as we go.
Now if you don't have a section of pipe, you can use the cardboard to a paper towel roll.
Doing it this way gives us access to the open end of our handle. That way we don't have to keep pulling around our cord as if we were going like this and then just pulling all the way through. Okay, with that in place, we'll take our broom and we'll slide it through our installation tool. And then we'll slide our pipe right off, and all our turns are going to be installed. Now it's just a matter of pulling all the slack out. So to do that, I'll just start rotating everything counterclockwise. Pulling out the slack as I go down to the bottom, keeping all my cords nice and dressed. There we go. You can see this is starting to take shape. I'll go through my marlin spike and I'll start pulling everything through. Now I'm going to go back towards the start, just like I did before. For this one, you can see I'm skipping 2 turns at a time. That's just because I don't need as much pressure as I did with my blade. Since this has this awkward plastic handle here at the end, I'm not able to get a parallel joint here, so I'm just going to incorporate it in my wraps. We've made it to the end here. What I'm going to do on this side, since I have such a big gap in between these 2 broom handles, I'm going to use a double length and then pass it through that loop. Once I have that in, I'll pull my end over here and I'll snug it in underneath. Okay, let's see how much reach we got. Almost 10 feet.